This is the kind of thing that is supposed to happen to my characters, not me. So here's the plan. I'm going to take each plot thread. I don't like it. I don't know what's happened, and write out the synopsis and then break it down into a scene by scene outline. This is no reason to panic, right? Right? Is this really what I want to write about? Hi, you okay? Yeah, I'm alright, thank you. So, I have been having the best time with these character and location profiles, but they have taken a lot longer than I expected, and that's fine, it's no problem, but I would like to get cracking on the next phase because I would like to get started on draft 2 at some point. So here's the plan. I'm going to take each plot thread one at a time and write out the synopsis and then break it down into a scene by scene outline. When I've done that for all the plot threads, I can then organise them into the right order for the whole story. And I'm sure some of the scenes will kind of get merged into one as they can do two things at once. And I will also put a little bit of thought into the first and last scene. But we're going to start with the main plot thread. Now, I've been warned that planning too much means you might lose interest when you actually start the writing, but I don't think that's going to apply to me. The outline is essentially going to lift the mental load of scene blocking so I can focus on the details and the prose. Not beautiful prose necessarily, but at least functional prose, which is more than draft 1 had. So let's start with the main plot synopsis and see where we go from there. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't know what's happened. It's so boring. Like, I'm sure it wasn't that bad when I wrote it in draft 1, but then I didn't fully write it out because I came up with this idea mid draft and then I couldn't write it out at the time. It's like, so what? Oh no, she doesn't get on with her colleagues. She does something, then speaks to someone, and then she does something else, and like, so what? Is this really what I want to write about? I'm not quite sure what to do. Maybe I've gone in the wrong direction somewhere. Um Maybe it just shouldn't be the main plot. Maybe it should be a subplot. But then I need to rethink everything else and try and figure out what is the main engine for the novel, if not this. I thought this was the right one. I don't know. Um, okay, so the question is now, if I don't like it and it's not working, do I sink more hours into this and put it down to a learning experience? Like, I wasn't planning on trying to publish this, so it doesn't have to be good. But to keep going with something that you know isn't good, but maybe it's good enough. No, I want it to be solid. Maybe I should leave it. Maybe I mean, I have a couple ideas for my next story. Or maybe it's fine and I'm overreacting. Okay, I think I'm going to continue. I'm going to build out the outline, the full outline, and write draft 2. And if it's still not working and I still don't like it and I can't see how to fix it, then I can let it go. It will have served its purpose as the first go of writing a novel and I can move on. Or maybe by then I can see how to fix it. Okay, I guess we'll keep going and try and do the scene by scene outline. It's fine, it's fine. Crisis averted. I was panicking over nothing. Well, not nothing. Okay. So I think what happened was the synopsis sounded really dull. Not because it is, but any story that's more grounded and realistic rather than crazy high stakes adventure isn't going to sound as great when it's laid out like that. Like, my story does have stakes and conflict, but they are quieter and the journey is more nuanced, which hopefully will shine through as it gets explored on page, but not in the synopsis. And now that I'm doing the scene by scene breakdown, it's already sounding so much better. But yes, lesson learned. Don't panic and keep going. So, I've listed out all the scenes that were needed to accomplish the synopsis, which came to around 12 scenes, and I've started the scene outlines. Now, at this point, I'm not focusing or worrying about the number of scenes there are and if they are skewing more towards the beginning, the middle, or the end, and I'm not trying to balance them out. I'm also not worrying about plot arcs or structures because that is draft three's problem. We're still in the phase of just trying to make this story exist. And I'm basically trying to build the outline that I wish I had for draft one. I'm on scene 3 of 12, and it's taking time, but it is going well. But I'm already feeling so much better about the main plot and the story as a whole. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. And I will check in with you again when I've made some more progress. Good morning. New day, new angle. I couldn't really see out my window with my big monitor in the way, and as we are finally entering spring here, I wanted to see my birds at my feeder and get inspiration from my garden. So, I have signed up to the London Writers' Summit. They host a writing sprint 4 times a day. It's for 1 hour or 15 minutes with 5 minutes of chat on either side for a silent writing session. And I've joined this for a couple of reasons. First, I get so much out of attending Meredith's writing sessions on her Patreon, but they are only twice a month, whereas this is every day. And the second reason is I want to put more time into my story, but I still need that accountability. And so having a set time every day where other people are struggling along with me works for me. I'm giving it a go, and I've attended a couple of the 8 o'clock in the morning ones, and it's going well. I've showed up for my work 4 days in a row now, rather than just every so often. And I'm making progress, and seeing that momentum feels so good. I'm now 5 scenes in, but the scene I'm in at the moment I am a little stuck on. It's kind of necessary to show the progress, but it is also boring at the moment, which is fine. Another time or another draft, and I'll need to think of something to make it more interesting and to improve it. But we've got something down, and so I've got something to work with. So yeah, I'm feeling positive about it. And I have some time today, so I thought I would go to my new favourite writing spot. In a previous video, I did try writing outside of my home, and it did not go well at all. However, I did give it another go, and I ended up going to a bookshop with a little cafe, and I love it there. So let's keep this momentum going and head over there. This is no reason to panic, right? Right? I'm not panicking. Are you panicking? Because I'm not panicking that I can't get into my laptop. I'm back in, but that was a scary couple of hours. So, I have a Windows laptop and I set up a Microsoft account or Microsoft email address just to set up the laptop 6 years ago. In order to get the recovery key to gain access to my entire laptop, I needed to remember my email address that I had set up all those years ago that I have never used since. Luckily, unlike with a password, there is no limit to guessing an email address, and Microsoft helpfully was like, that's the wrong email, that's the wrong email, also that's the wrong email. So I'm trying all these different versions of my name and numbers that I might use, and trying Outlook versus Hotmail and .com versus .uk until I finally got it. I was then able to get the recovery key and was admitted back into my own laptop. This is the kind of thing that is supposed to happen to my characters, not me. Now, my first draft is saved to the OneDrive and automatically saves. However, that is no good if I don't know the email to access the OneDrive account. So there were two reasons I wasn't panicking about it. Firstly, it's a really bad first draft, and it would not have been missed other than for nostalgia. Secondly, almost everything about my novel is in this workbook, which will now be protected at all costs. My initial brainstorming is in Millernote, and everything else is in this notebook, including the main plot synopsis that I did, but not the scene outlines, which is in a Word document. This is your sign to back up your novel and maybe try an analog format as well. So everything is now fine, but it has scared me a little. So I want to try something different. I recently watched Kate Kavanagh's video about the free program or platform called Ellipsis, so I'm going to give that a go. It looks simpler and cleaner than Scrivener, which I haven't used before, but it feels a bit too much and more than what I need right now, whereas Ellipsis looks just right. So I'm going to start working in there and see how that goes. I'm going to be working on scene 7, which I think is the midpoint. And it's quite an exciting scene. So I'm really looking forward to working on that. And yeah, I will check back in with you soon. This is going really well. I'm on scene 10 of what looks like to be now 14 scenes rather than 12, which actually makes scene 7, which is the midpoint, work perfectly. Almost like I know what I'm doing. I've been using Ellipsis and I really like it. It's simple, clean, and effective. I like the draft versions that feel a bit like a Git repository for those of you who have done any coding. The way I've used it for my outline, I've set up a document for the main plot thread outline and put the synopsis and the scene list in draft 1, and then the scene by scene outline in draft 2. And I can easily switch between the two drafts on the left hand side. They also have a focus mode that hides all the surrounding stuff. So it's just you and your document without any distractions, which is working really well for me. I think it's going to be really good for writing the draft as well. So I might try writing draft 2 in here and just see how that feels. But yeah, I'm making really good progress. I'm hoping to finish it either tomorrow or the day after. And then I'm very excited because I'm going to my first author event to see Beth O'Leary. She is a romance author, a hugely successful best-selling romance author, I should probably say. I've read 2 of her books, The Switch and The No-Show, and they're kind of set up as rom-coms, but there's a real emotional depth to them, and I think she balances that really well. So I'll be going to the Waterstones in Manchester city centre, which I don't often go to, And I'm excited to meet her and pick up her new book, The Name Game.
What were the challenges of writing this book?
It was a challenging one, although I think easier than Swept Away, I would say, on balance, because Swept Away is about just two people in a boat lost at sea. So I had a whole glorious cast of characters to play with, and a whole world to build, which was lovely. The plot was plotty, and I didn't always know from the start sort of exactly how it was all going to play out, and then when I did know, it took a lot of figuring out. So there were, I would say that was the challenge of this one, more than kind of, I loved the part of it that was most fun was writing the kind of mood and vibe and sense of the island and the atmosphere and the kind of the love, the type of love that there is in this novel, which I think is quite a yearny, grown-up sort of love.
I've finished the main plot outline. I'm really happy with it, and I think it is good, or at least good enough. It's everything I need it to be for draft 2. And I'm also really happy with my progress now that I'm doing the writing hour most mornings. I'm hopeful I can get all the other subplot outlines done fairly quickly, as I'm kind of chomping at the bit to get started on draft 2. So the sooner I get the outlines done, the sooner I can start writing. But I also don't want to rush the outlines. So I had a really good time at the Beth O'Leary event. I think I'm going to talk more about that in my next video, because I am going to another author event where I'm going to be meeting one of my favourite authors, Anthony Horowitz. I am very excited about that. If you want to see all of this in real time, by the way, I've started an Instagram account. I feel like I should have mentioned this earlier, but never mind. I post real-time updates on my writing and the events that I attend on my stories. And I also post some fun little stories on my grid if you want to check that out. Same username, Raffaella is writing. So, we've had some ups and downs, despite me crashing out, despite my computer crashing out. I've made really good progress, and that is good enough.